guys, buckle up for another brand new episode of Below the Iceberg. This is a super bonus edition. Now, this podcast is where we talk to real life 2 Comma Club winners. Now, whether you're a small business owner, an entrepreneur, a wannabe entrepreneur, or you've been in business for a while, you're sure to pick up tidbits of actionable advice from these $1 million entrepreneurs. Now, if you don't know what a 2 Comma Club winner is, it is where somebody has built one funnel inside the ClickFunnels software and they've sold $1 million through just that one funnel, which is amazing. Now, in today's episode, I'm super excited to be talking to Eileen Wilder, who unexpectedly catapulted herself into this multi-million-dollar speaking lifestyle, and she has won multiple 2 Comma Clubs. So let's dive in and find out how it all happened, how she got started, and how she got on her path to that $1 million funnel. Welcome, Eileen, to Below the Iceberg.
Thank you. Thanks, Polly. So pumped to be here.
It's awesome to have you on our podcast. So I'm not sure if you know, but our guests are all 2 Comma Club winners. And that's how we work our guests. So I know you've got a 2 Comma Club.
Yeah, several. Yeah, let's go.
Awesome. So that's super congratulations.
Thank you.
And what we like to do with our guests first off is to check in with their social media channels to see what their followings are like.
Oh, fun.
So it gives our listeners an idea of what's achievable with small followings and big followings on different platforms.
Love that.
So I checked into your stats.
Yeah.
And I see on Instagram is your biggest following. Is that right?
I think so. Yes.
Yeah. You've got 2 accounts, I found.
Oh, we have lots of scammers. Yes. Welcome to the world of celebrity. Yes. My official account is at Eileen Wilder.
Oh, right. Okay. So I found one with 17,000 followers and the other one had 13,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're getting started on TikTok.
Getting started. Loving TikTok, man.
Yeah.
So
it's
fun.
Awesome. It's great.
Yeah.
I love it. I proper love it. So I saw on your TikTok bio, it says the Queen of Stages.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. So I've had some super famous marketer friends. Taylor Welch was the first to call me Queen of Stages. So I just took it and I'm like, yeah, I received that.
So do you want to tell our listeners exactly what it is that you do?
Yeah. So what we do is we help people go full-time and become a highly paid speaker and also learn how to sell from stage using virtual events. So we're most well known for helping people do like have huge cash infusions with virtual events. So they'll do 6- and 7-figure days speaking from stage. Yeah.
All right. Okay, cool. So when did you get your first 2 Comma Club?
Ooh, I think it was 2020. So 2 years ago, we hit our first 2 Comma Club. I think it was December of 2020.
All right. Okay. And was it a goal to get the 2 Comma Club?
Oh yeah, 100%. When I first attended Funnel Hacking Live, which is the Disney World for marketers, and I saw people getting the big shiny awards, Polly, I was like, what is that? I had no idea what it was because I was a pastor.
Right.
And then someone told me it represented making $1 million. And then there were so many people. I don't know if you've seen it. There's like a huge line of people, right? And you're like, oh my God, they all got $1 million. And you're like, yeah. And so immediately I love awards and winning. I don't know if any of your viewers or listeners love winning, but I was like, yes, I want to win. So of course I made that a goal in 2018. It took me 2 years to get there, but yeah.
All right. Okay. That's super cool. So what was the funnel that you got the 2 Comma Club with?
It was our virtual events. So we have a challenge and that was the first funnel. So it was a challenge selling how to do a virtual event.
Right. Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
So was it profitable? Because that's what lots of people want to know.
Oh, yes. Oh my gosh. So yes. So yes. Oh my God. Yes, I know about how that is not profitable. I totally understand. I mean, I don't have the statistics of how much we spend in ads, but our company runs off a 60 to 70% profit margin.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, we're highly profitable and believe in profit, running the business lean and running it like where you're not relying on Mark Zuckerberg and all the things.
Yeah. Because you hear of people who they get the 2 Comma Club, but they actually spent like that much money to get that much money.
I didn't know that either, Polly. I only learned that last year. That was the year that I learned what you just said. I did not know that because
Okay.
I still sometimes feel like the new person on the block, like I'm still figuring it. But and then somebody told me that I'm like, wait, what? So, yeah, it's crazy town.
It is definitely. Now, another little thing that we like to do on this podcast is we do a little bit of a rewind
Oh, fun.
and we take you back to your childhood.
Okay,
So,
let's go.
what was your childhood like? Where did you grow up?
Ooh, I grew up on Long Island, North Shore, Suffolk County, in New York, and I had a amazing childhood. My mom and dad were kind of like new to trying to be really good parents. They didn't grow up in like a perfect home, but they just crushed it, in my opinion. I have one brother, and so I grew up going to school, believing in great principles, great morals, serving others, helping nonprofits. So I grew up in that type of home, which was an incredible head start, I feel like, in life, because I started to realize we're not just here for ourselves, right, Polly? Like we're not
Yeah.
just here to make our life amazing. Like no matter how great somebody else is hurting and somebody else needs help, you know. So I was raised like that, and it super grateful.
And what did when you if you think back, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Mm. My first goal was to be a singer. I had a dream of being a singer. I actually became a singer for years,
Oh,
which was
did you?
amazing. Yeah, it was so cool. So I became like a stage performer. I mean, I was a worship leader, worship pastor at my church, so I was actually paid to be a musician and lead a team. But then it shifted to wanting to speak, so it kind of like morphed a little bit into I had more growing respect. I still have incredible respect for stage musicians and performers, but um my love and passion started shifting to great orators and great speakers and great speeches and moving people with a presentation.
So did you go to college to become a performer or
I majored in art as in my undergrad, so I kind of was in more of like that artist track and doing music on the side. As after college, I started getting paid full time in the music side. Hmm.
it's interesting because I've had quite a few guests on and they've come from theatre, singing.
Oh, isn't that interesting?
Yeah,
It's that creator. I think there's a creator thing inside of entrepreneurs.
yeah,
So yeah,
definitely.
yeah, that's really interesting.
So how did you go from so you were a pastor?
Yep.
So I've been reading your book
Oh, cool. Awesome. Thank you.
and it says that you met Myron Golden and that
Yeah.
changed. How did you meet
Yeah.
him? What happened there?
Oh, yeah, I met him at an event, that was hosted by ClickFunnels, and it was so cool because I was a pastor and he was a pastor, so that's kinda how we started jamming, and I was like so I had a lot of familiarity and understanding of his background, so I was just asking him some questions like, "How did you start to transition into the entrepreneurship space?" And he just started giving me tips, giving me, kinda like coaching, and then, yeah, then I had the privilege of working with him, which was great.
All right, okay. So you met him after Funnel Hacking Live in
Yep.
2018.
Yeah, 2019, I think is when I met Myron. Yeah, 2019.
Okay, so once you met Myron, how did you then actually put on your first event? How did you transition?
Okay. Yeah, well, so cool because of my background, Polly, I was used to kind of speaking a little bit. So that was a strategic advantage. So Myron helped me understand how to put together an event in a way that served people at the highest level and then how to make an invitation to work with me deeper at that event. So after I learned that from Myron, 3 months later, I did my first event and with 8 people in the room and then plus 4 friends I rented to be in the room to make it bigger. I was like, "Guys, you gotta, like, smile and you gotta, like, clap for me." I was just, like, totally bribing them. I was like, "I'll take you out to dinner, just look interested." And so with, 8 people in the room, I did, $108,000. So it's my first
Oh, wow.
six-figure day. So that's when I started getting the clue I was onto something, so.
So before you did that first event, were you nervous?
Oh, yeah, 100%. I was excited, but I was also nervous because I didn't know if anyone would show up, and then I didn't know 100% what I was gonna say, just all the things. I don't know how I never made an offer like that before. So, I did a lot of visualization, and that really helped me, like, before the event. It was awesome.
And it was an in-person event.
Mm-hmm.
And how did you overcome that self-doubt that you had then?
You know, I think that I heard a story from a man named W. Clement Stone. He was like a mentor to Napoleon Hill, and he said one phrase and one phrase only 100 times a day, and he believed it made him a billionaire. And he called it a self-starter phrase. And he said, this one phrase, do it now, 100 times a day. So he'd say, he lived in this like high-rise apartment building, Polly, and before the floor hit floor number 1, he made himself say it 100 times when he was in the elevator.
All right, okay.
So he's going, do it now, do it now, do it now, do it now, do it now. And he made all his employees say it. Like if you worked for W. Clement Stone, you had to say it. Like if you work for him, you've got to walk around the building saying, do it now. So I had conditioned myself walking around my 2-bedroom apartment, broke as a joke. We have one car. My husband's Uber driving, Polly, like ride sharing to support us late at night. It was challenging. But here I am about to throw this event, right? So you can imagine my brain's like, this isn't going to work. You know, it was like I was surrounded by credit card debt. It was difficult. But I just kept saying, do it now. Do it now, 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 do it now. And I promise you, like, I don't just share this story from stage. I said, do it now 100 times a day.
Did you?
Yeah. I have it on stickers. My kids say it, like, it's like a thing. Because why is this phrase so powerful? I'll teach you. Because everyone listening, W. Clement Stone understood that the number one enemy of wealth isn't mindset. It's not mindset issues. It's not daddy issues. It's not internal beliefs or like your psychological, physiological encoding. It's none of that. It's delay. Delay is a number one enemy of wealth.
Right, okay.
You already know what to do. Everybody already knows what to do. The number one enemy is delay. So you got to how do you beat delay? So you have to train yourself. Like, and I like to say it like this, Polly, that procrastination is the assassination of your destination.
I like that.
So if you're listening to the podcast right now, maybe you're in your car, maybe you're in your kitchen, maybe you're on your couch, but just be like, do it now. Do it now. So before my event, the moral of the story is that's what I did. I just kept do it now, do it now. So I decided to do it now, whether no one came, whether no one bought my offer, whether nobody clapped for me. I already made the decision. I got to do it now.
Okay. So the 4 people that came, apart from the other 4,
my four rented friends, and then I had 8 people who bought a ticket.
Oh, right. You had 8 people. Right. Okay. Where did those 8 people come from?
I did what I teach my clients to do, which is I created a small low ticket product, and in the product, I made it awesome. So you got to be awesome. And then I bonused a ticket to the event. So I gave like an additional add-on. It wasn't an add-on. It was like a bonus. You could come to the live event.
Oh, right. Okay. If they bought the low ticket offer.
Yep.
Right. Okay. I like that. That's good.
Yeah. 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 It was great.
And so when you were at the first event and you put your offer out.
Yep.
How did you know what you were doing? Had Myron given you a framework to follow that, or did you work it out as you went along?
No, he gave me a framework. Myron has like a framework for everything, but then I also had to make it my own style. You know how you hear something, Polly, but then like you just got to make it yours.
Yeah.
So the biggest thing that I did is I put myself into a feeling state of loving my offer. So I felt great about my offer. I was like, my offer is insane. It's insane. This offer is literally insane. So I felt the feeling state. And when you feel the feelings, sales is the transference of emotion. It's not the transaction of money. It's the transference of emotion. So how you feel about your stuff and what you sell is what the audience feels.
Okay.
So the first person you got to sell is yourself. You got to be like, I'm Polly. I'm freaking amazing. And what I do is change lives 100%. Congratulations for being in my presence, because I'm about to rock your world. Like that's the type of attitude and psychology that I have. Like to
Right.
me, I am the best in the world. I'm literally the best in the world at what I do. Like that is the truth. So like if you believe that, then your audience will believe that, because sales is transference of emotion.
Right. Okay. So do you teach people how to do that now?
Yeah, 100%. You know how it's like 80%, like, it's like the internal game and then there's just the tactics. So like it's getting the game right in your mind and then just taking fast imperfect action.
And what was your offer? What were they buying into on that first?
Well, because I was a pastor, the first offer I made was life coaching. That was when I was trying to learn entrepreneurship, and I was like, oh, okay, the equivalent of what I've been doing for free over here for years is
Right.
life coaching. So that's how I was like, I never heard of life coaching before, Polly. I
Right.
literally was like, what? And then and then they're like, oh yeah, no, this is like a thing that people hire life coaches. I'm like, great, I'll do that, because that sounds just like what I've been doing for pennies over here. So perfect. Sign me up. So
So
yeah.
what happened then with your husband? Because he was driving an Uber. How
Yeah.
was he a pastor as well?
Yeah,
And driving an Uber?
well, we had been pastors for 18 years, and then we kind of transitioned out of ministry, and we didn't know what we were doing, and we weren't getting paid to do anything. We had no idea what to do with our lives after being pastors. So he was driving Uber then. Yeah, for months and months, maybe a year. I don't know.
So what does he do now?
Oh, he works full time with us now.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
I
Okay.
basically work for him now. Like he's like my boss and tells me what to do, and he's amazing. My husband is literally one of the smartest people I know on the planet. He's an MBA. He's a genius.
And how
He's
does
made
that
our
work?
business
How
so
does that
successful.
work? Working together then, as
You
in
know, yeah,
husband and wife, and
I don't know if everybody can do it. In fact, I bet like a lot of people like no, maybe it's not recommended, but we flow really well. It's just a flow. Our vibe in our family is super fun, and we all have businesses. Even my little 8-year-old selling stickers now. Like it's just fun. We just make, yeah, it's like I guess a lot of couples would be better if they were on separate, I don't know, not working together, but for us, I don't know. It just works. Yeah.
so in your book, The $1 Million Speaker, this one,
Yeah.
there's a quote in it that says, "Start before you're ready."
Yes. I love that. Isn't that good?
I love that too. So is that what you did?
Yeah, because for so long, Polly, like, have you ever really wanted to do something, but like you just felt like you weren't ready,
Yeah.
or like you weren't prepared, or like maybe you'll get prepared, but you have to do XYZ, 1, 2, 3, study more on this and this and this, and then you'll be ready. I was like that, and I started recognizing that I had this like almost like this perfectionism or something, like that one I was putting in the future, like one day I'll do that. For me, I remember in the beginning, Polly, just getting on video, like what you're doing right now, like starting a podcast or like being on video or like showing up online was impossible to me. I had a huge mental block. Like I just never felt ready. I don't know. Like if I showed you, I have a picture on my computer where the first time I went online, I actually looked off into if you're listening to the audio right now, I'm looking away from the computer off to the side to like a pretend camera person, because I was so afraid to look at the hole in the camera.
People teach you to do that, don't they, when they get started?
Yeah.
They teach you to pretend you're talking
Oh,
to
do
somebody
they?
over
That's
there.
like a strat. That's like a tactic. That's like a get warmed up and get.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay. Okay, I didn't know that. I was just too afraid to look dead on to the camera. So then I heard this phrase, I think it was from Stephen Pressfield, or yeah, it was like start before you're ready. Just it's a little bit like do it now. It's kind of like press record and just be mediocre.
Yeah.
Just kind of be terrible. Like just start.
And don't watch it back.
Yeah, don't watch it back. So it's kind of like this acknowledgement, like you're never going to feel ready. You're never going to feel prepared. You're never going to feel ready, like you know enough.
Yeah.
So yeah, just start.
So the book is co-authored with Joseph Aaron.
Yes, my business partner, who I adore, him and his wife Melody. They've a most amazing family. They're the coolest business partners.
So how did you two become business partners?
Well, it's funny. He came from a ministry based background like I did. So, you just start, you and you have stuff in common with other people. So we just started talking, and then he knew a ton about speaking and a ton about events. And we met in Myron's mastermind and we just became friends, and then decided to link up and do an event together.
All right. Okay.
On Black Friday. And it was so much fun, Polly. It was like time passed. It just flew so quickly, and he's so great. Like, so it was so fun. I was like, we should do this again. And he's like, yeah, cool. I'm trying to buy a mansion. Want to do it next week? I'm like, sure. So we did it. And then he bought his huge house, which is amazing. And yeah, it's just fun. He's so fun.
So when did you start working together with your offers? Just that Black Friday, and you just carried on?
Yeah, Black Friday, yeah.
When was that? Last year or the year before?
So I think that was 2020. So that was what pushed us over to Comic Club.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Crazy town.
Another big belief that people have, I think, with public speaking is how not to be boring.
Oh, oh my gosh. So much. Yes. Have you ever watched a speaker, Polly, and been like, oh my gosh, I'm in pain. This is so boring. And you like want to be engaged, but you're just like, you can't. You're just literally bored out of your mind. And so we figured out what it is that speakers are doing that's making them so boring. And then what are the speakers doing that are crushing it from stage, like getting standing ovations and like raucous applause. Like we figured out the hidden framework that they're doing, so that will work for anybody. So
what's your top tip for somebody who has a fear of not being boring? How do they not be boring?
Okay, so definitely read the book. I'll tell you how to get the book in a minute. Like, it's so good, and the book will do a better job than this one quick tip. But the number one tip I would give for people to not be boring is get the audience engaged. Like, boring speakers only talk about themselves, and boring speakers is like a one-way conversation.
Right.
Joe and I like to say it's more like white church versus black church. If you've ever seen like a Tyler Perry movie, or like have you ever been to like an awesome church service that inside the African American community or black church, it's like fun. Like we call it talkback church. It's talkback church. So it's a two-way conversation.
Right. Okay. Like a gospel church.
So much. Yeah, it's so much more fun. Like literally night and day. Night and day. Whereas in white church, it's like pulpit, notes, speaker looking down, losing the audience. Not every church, but let's be honest, many churches. Okay. So engagement. So how do you get the audience engaged? Well, you ask them questions. You like invite response. You tell them like the words of the song, like a great musician. Like you're like, how many of you would like this? Give me a yes. High five your name. Like you just have more fun and get the audience engaged. No one will think you're boring ever again. Like ever again. You'll get invited back. They'll think you're the best speaker there. Like, get the audience engaged. That's my top tip.
Okay, awesome. Now, what about clothes for speakers?
Did you say clothes?
Yeah. So what should somebody wear?
Oh, what a great question. I would say
I'm asking this because I was at Funnel Hacking Live and your dress was awesome.
Oh, thank you. Oh, that's kind. Oh my gosh. Yes. Oh my gosh.
And
yeah.
I saw you walking down the aisle and there's thousands of people and you just stood out.
Oh, that's kind. Oh, that's really cool. Thanks. Oh, that's so nice. Oh, I'm like blushing.
So what should people wear when they're going on stage?
Great question. I mean, the way I'll just tell you how I think through it. Like, I think people like it when you're just yourself. Like, what would you wear that you would think would be amazing, coupled with what wouldn't like distract from the message? Like, what would make you feel so awesome and so powerful and be an expression of like your own magnificence, but in a way that wouldn't like if I say, for instance, like if I wore something like really revealing, that could be a distraction from people listening to the words that are coming out of my mouth. Do you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
definitely.
you gotta keep the message, the main, the message is the hero, right? The message is, you don't want to distract from the message, but at the same time, like, express, you be you, like, you express your personality, like, express, like, look at the greatest music stage performers. Like, I was watching Jennifer Lopez's Netflix documentary called Halftime, and you look at like Lady Gaga or like people who are just dressing as an expression of their personality. I love that. I love that because I'm like, nobody wants you to be somebody else. We want you to be you.
Yeah.
Like, your hair poly is literally the coolest thing that I've seen like in 4 months. And like, that is so beautiful to me and so beautiful to other people, because we all need to stand in appreciation of who you are in your magnificence. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Thank you. I had a lot of people spot me at Fun Luck in live because of
Yeah,
my
they're
hair.
like, "That's sick. That's ridiculous. I want that. I can't pull it off, but I want," you know what I mean? So it's like we all just be yourself, man. Just be yourself.
Okay, so in the book, there's something that you call sound bites.
Yeah.
So can you elaborate a bit more on sound bites and tell our listeners what are sound bites? How do they work?
Yes. Lovely. Yes. So sound bites are like one-liners that speakers use that are short and succinct and kind of like land your point really well. I'll give some examples, but like, sound bites are these things that my friend Richie Norton calls tweetable repeatables.
All
It's
right.
like the one line that somebody's like, boom, and they write it down. Or the one liner's like, boom, and somebody tweets it out. The one liner's like, boom, and the audience goes, oh, you'll hear a crowd response. That's when you know you've got a good soundbite.
Right. Okay.
Now, the greats all use sound bites. The greats. They work on their sound bites and they land their sound bites with impeccable timing. So that's an obsession of mine, is great sound bites. Let me give you an example of one. One that's very well known that people know I have is procrastination is the assassination of your destination. I said it earlier. That's a
Yeah.
sound bite. Now, why? Now let's talk about why is it such a cool sound bite. People don't recognize it, but it's the rhyming.
All right. Okay.
There's a musicality to the soundbite. Procrastination is the assassination, boom, rhyming, and then here I go again, of your destination. Now, because it's rhyming, and many sound bites will also have, sometimes they'll start with the same letter, like have alliteration, like people can remember it. So great sound bites have this stick factor.
All right. Okay.
Okay, so do it now. People think that I say that because I tell that story a lot, but W. Clement Stone said that. That's his soundbite. Okay, but people remember it. So if you'll know you have a great soundbite if people remember it and it lands and the audience has a reaction.
So I read in the book that you've listened to hundreds and hundreds of speakers.
Yes, I love it. I love it.
Uh,
I'm obsessed.
who did you decide to listen to, and how? Were they new speakers, old speakers, or
Oh,
how did
yeah,
you
great
decide?
question. Yeah, so we have a huge list of speakers that we are always curating and adding to. So they're some of them are alive, most of them have passed. Thank God for YouTube, because all the great speeches have been recorded. But like, we've listened to ones from everyone from the royal family to Dr. Martin Luther King to JFK to Obama's speech at the Democratic Convention here in the US. Like, there's speeches that have traveled the test of time, that have been remembered and even shifted world events. Winston Churchill. Like there's incredible speaker and speeches that have been recorded. And I can't believe that we get to live in a day and a time where they're as easily accessible as on YouTube. Like that's insane. Think about, I don't know, years ago, like they couldn't find it. You know what I mean? But like, you know, JFK's we landed people on the moon because of like one speech. It's just insane. So we've gone and studied all of those speeches, and we kind of break them down like a football player breaks down game tape and look at what they're doing, and that's how we discovered the framework.
All right, okay. So did you name it sound bites as well, or did you get that?
So soundbite is one step in our framework. It's one step. So we call it's the belief and identity transformation system is the name of our framework. We call it BITS for short. So
right. Okay, I get it. Okay, so there are a lot of speakers out there, but a lot of them, they can't sell from stage. They have trouble selling. They might be good at speaking, but they can't actually sell.
Correct.
So why is that? What are they doing that's working?
I think that many speakers are never taught the integrity of sales. They're not taught that selling is serving the audience. They might carry, some speakers maybe just have never been trained, but they might carry a feeling that selling something to the audience would be doing something to them rather than doing something for them.
Right. Okay.
So they would hesitate, or they'd probably pull back from extending an invitation.
Okay. So I was reading in the book about timeshare.
Oh my gosh.
Now I've got to tell you, years ago, I was a timeshare sales rep.
Were you really, Polly? Oh my gosh.
When I read that, I was laughing.
Wow.
Did you want to tell the listeners what your timeshare?
Okay, I bet you were way nice. Okay, listen, team. I was in Orlando. We had no money. We wanted to go to Disney World. We had little kids, right? And so they said, just go to this timeshare, but I didn't know really what a timeshare was. Oh my gosh, I didn't even know. I literally didn't know. So we're there, and we're like, oh, cool. We just gotta like sit through this thing, and then we'll go to Disney World. This is gonna be so great. And it was horrible. It was like hours long. The guy was so mean. He was mean. Like, I'm not sure you guys have ever met a salesperson who was pushy. I'd like you to take that picture and amplify it by 6 or 10x. Like, he was like harsh toned, condescending, strong in his voice, and made us feel like we'd never leave. And I actually, it was so bad. It was
How long did he keep you for?
It was like 4 hours.
Or was it?
And I was like crying. I guess I hesitated to say that, but I was like, I was almost scared. I know that sounds insane, but that's how I thought. I'm like, is this sales? I want nothing to do with this. That's what I thought, because it was so bad.
A lot of people feel like that when they come across a timeshare person.
I bet it might not be like that for all. Like, you might have had, like, this guy seemed different. I probably should be praying for him. That's what we should be doing.
Another thing from the book, which I love, divorce the outcome.
Oh, beautiful. Yes. Yeah. Do you want to tell them where that is, or the meaning behind it?
Well, I wanted you to share it with our listeners.
Okay.
You will be able to tell it better.
Yeah. Well, I love your questions. I'm like, oh wow, I'd love to hear what's resonating with you, because that's a good takeaway. This means divorce yourself from the outcome means separate yourself from the need for anything to happen as a result of your speaking, as a result of you selling, as a result of you being on video or being on stage. Divorce yourself from whatever may or may not happen as a result of you doing it now. Okay. So let's dive deeper. So it's like oftentimes anxiety, uptightness, tension, mental imagination, mental movies that we have of things going wrong. We don't even recognize our body and our mind start to get like imagining negative things happening. And that's because we're like attached to what people may think,
Yeah.
how they may respond, whether they're going to buy. But if you 100% are like, I literally don't care. I literally do not care if this audience does anything. When you're in that state, I call it being leaned out. Like you're detached from the outcome. I'm in a perfect position finally now to actually serve you at the highest level. Why? Because I don't need you to do anything.
Yeah.
I don't need you to like me. I don't need you to applaud. Like I stood on Funnel Hacking Live, like in this stage, which makes a lot of people nervous, but I stood up there and I'm like, I literally, you could even not like what I'm about to say. Like I don't need you to feel awesome about me. I'm here to transform you in a few minutes. That's why I'm here. So this neediness for something to happen is often what pushes the audience away and pushes the sale away.
So yeah, so when you were up on the stage, can
Yeah.
you see anybody in this audience?
No, you really can't. It's very like dark. It's very dark. Like it's just like there's just lights.
And it was was it your second time?
Yes, at FHL.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you did it the year before as well.
Right. Yeah.
So how did that come about? How did you get that?
I don't know. I guess Russell, like, I love ClickFunnels. I love Russell, and I think I was serving the community in a small way, and that might have come across Russell's radar. I don't really know. I was the most surprised. Like out of nowhere, I got a Facebook message from Russell, and I thought it was fake, like a bot or
Oh,
something.
right. Okay.
And so somebody on his team was like, did you see the message from Russell? And I was like, yeah, I get like a lot of messages from, like, I'm like subscribed to all the things. Do you know what I mean? Like I get messages, the emails, like I must get 20, you know what I'm saying? Like I just thought, I'm like, yeah, I get a lot of, they're like, no, Russell Brunson, like the person reached out to you. And I was like, what? So yeah, I was very surprised. So
Awesome. So are you in any of Russell's programs?
yes, I'm in the Atlas program, which is kind of like small inner circle type
Oh, the
program.
Category Kings. Is it
Yeah,
that one?
there's inner circle, category kings, and then Atlas. So
Oh, right.
there's a
I didn't
couple
know there was
different.
another one.
Yeah, he's chambers within chambers. Yeah, it's like those Chinese dolls. You just keep unpacking them. Yeah.
How big is that group then?
Gosh, I think Atlas might be 10 to 15 people, but I don't know. Maybe we just like we just joined it, so I don't know how.
Oh, is it a new
Could be
one
more.
then?
Yeah, he's had it. I think I'm not 100% sure, but I don't know. We just signed up.
All
Whenever
right. Okay.
Russell,
Awesome.
yeah.
So what are your top 3 things for somebody to do if they want to become a motivational speaker or earn money from stages? What should they do?
Yeah, great. Well, number one, I really encourage you to get the book because I think it'll really help you. We make it simple. Like I've never seen a framework that you kind of make it like, what are the crazy good speakers doing that's making them so crazy good? And how do I do that? That's so, like, we've made it that understandable. I used to think it was so hard, and it's actually not that hard. So become a great speaker. I would also, if you want to get paid as a speaker, the old way and the long runway to money was like having a speaker fee and then people inviting you to come. Like, that takes forever. The better way to do it is make your own product or sell somebody else's thing at the end of your speech. So that's how you can make money like right now. And then, like, once you feel good about that, bonus a ticket to your own event. Be like, hey, we're going to put it all together at this workshop. Or hey, like, we're going to put it all together at this implementation day. Or hey, we're going to put it all together at this retreat. It's intensive. Call it whatever you want. And then it gets super fun, Polly, because then it's like you're with your people and they're all like super chill and super cool. And that's when you maybe could offer something kind of higher end, more premium at the end of that event. Fastest way to 6 and 7 figures. Like literally, that's what the greats do and have done for the history of the world. Like literally you could go way far back. Like that's what they did, arenas, events. So yeah, that's it. That's
So
the fastest way.
how do people get the book?
Okay, yeah. So you get the book if you can. So right now we have 1,000 copies left. My team just told me we don't have the second printing even initiated yet. So this first printing, we have 1,000 copies left, and we're like giving them away when people attend our challenge next week. So we
Oh,
have
right, okay.
a challenge coming up. I'm sure Polly's got a link somewhere for you.
Yeah,
And
I'll pop a link in the comments or on the screen.
yeah. Yep. And yeah, when you join the challenge, you'll dive deeper into all about how you can become $1 million speaker, and you'll get the book and all the things and be able to ask Q&A. So it's a fantastic opportunity. And I just invite everyone to join us there so you can crush it from stage.
Sounds awesome. So we have a last question tradition on this podcast.
All right.
Okay, so if you're going to be an animal for 24 hours, what would you be and why?
Cheetah. Because they're like the fastest. I think they're the fastest. Maybe there's a faster one. Maybe I was a kid. I was told they were the fastest. I think they're the most beautiful, the most elegant, the most agile, and like speed. They're all about speed. And that's how I feel like I'm always just like speed to the wealth, speed to the impact, speed to the income, and helping people also get there faster than they think. So
Awesome. That's been absolutely amazing chatting to you today. Thank you so much.
You too, Polly. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Thank you for listening. I really hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, please take a moment to leave us a 5-star review and subscribe to the podcast on your podcast software. It really helps us rank the podcast and get more listeners. And if you're over on YouTube, please subscribe and hit the bell. Every Friday, 8 a.m. GMT, we release a brand new episode. And until then, have a good one.